channel. It's Darkthorn the Oracle here for another video. Today we're going to explore the past, present, and future of the twin flames. We start with the divine masculines a lot, so this time we're going to start with the divine feminines. But first, let's cleanse the energy around us so that no bias is brought into this reading or into this space. And all past energies of the cards can be released. And we can be renewed, including you all. Okay. Let's light our candle. And let's get started. So, starting with the divine feminines, I'm going to explore past, present, and future. We're going to look at this from left to right. Cards flipping off this jank already. Well, that's a good sign. All right. So with that being said, let's shuffle this one more time for the divine feminines before we lay this out. Past, present, okay, future. All right, so let's explore this. Move you around the candle. Past, present, future. So what is it, Spirit, that we need to know about the past of the divine feminine, what the divine feminine was supposed to learn, what the divine feminines were supposed to become aware of? What is it that was supporting this union and this partnership moving forward? Temperance. Okay, so the past part, divine feminines, of your journey has supposed to been teaching you patience, okay? It's supposed to be teaching you to have a milder manner and to be more in your feminine energies and less so in your masculine energies. And to really understand that everything happens in divine timing. It's not according to your timing, not according to divine masculine's timing. Everything happens according to Spirit's timing, God's timing. So dehydrated this morning. So what we need to understand about this is that along with patience, that patience that you were supposed to be learning was necessary in order to get you to the space of following the leader. You can't follow the leader, divine feminines, if you have not learned patience, because the leader does not always take you in the direction that you think things should go. The leader in this case would be Spirit, divine, the ultimate source. So patience was necessary for you to get to the point where you would be able to follow the leader with such impeccable patience, with such impeccable knowledge, with such impeccable trust, because patience and trust go hand in hand. Trust is something that is earned. Trust is something that takes time. You can't rush into trust, because then you'll rush out of trust at the slightest of things. So Divine was really trying to get you into the space of following God, following Source, following Spirit, following your ancestors' guidance. But we couldn't get you there until you had learned this patience, because that goes hand in hand with your rituals, hand in hand with your ceremonies, hand in hand with your meditation, hand in hand with your skill development, hand in hand with your spiritual path, hand in hand with your purpose. All of these things require your patience. All of these things require you to do something you've never done before. All of these things require you to sit down sometimes and really understand everything that's going on. As Divine Feminines, there's this urge sometimes to just make a move, do something new, do something, okay? Something needs to be happening right now. I need to be doing more right now. I need to find something to get into right now. I need to find something to learn right now. But sometimes there's spaces where you're supposed to not be doing anything. And in doing nothing, you're doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be sitting and you're supposed to be listening for your next instruction. Bullheaded Divine Feminines act without any guidance. And that act without guidance is what gets Divine Feminines into trouble and gets them highly into masculine energies, instead of balancing their feminine and masculine energy. So this whole past path that you've been on, Divine Feminines, has really been around learning patience so that you can learn to follow the leader, which is God, okay? So let's look into what are the present energies. What do we need to know for the right now for the Divine Feminines? All right. Celebration is in reverse. It's not yet time to celebrate. Okay? There's still work to be done. And that work to be done centers around overcoming the next hurdle, the next obstacle that's about to hit, okay? Spirit is trying to get you to understand that there's something else that's coming, and a level of freedom that you need to have, but a level of discipline that you also need to have. To understand that just because things are going well at that present time and that present moment does not mean that it's time to sit and celebrate and do nothing else. Okay? That's a large part of what twin flame separation is supposed to teach you, Divine Feminine. It's that just because your DM is here does not mean you stop all of your work. When you stop all of your work, these mountains tend to arise. And that is when you go into separation again, because you need to understand that there is work to be done, whether your DM is here or not. And you need to have the authority and the discipline to be able to do that, the freedom to be able to do that, the discipline to be able to do that. You can't have that if you're solely reliant on your twin flame relationship to do what it is that you need to do on your path and in your purpose. And in understanding this, there are a lot of DMs that are in the present not celebrating because they're not so worried about their divine masculines anymore. Okay? There's a lot of Divine Feminines that understand that their masculine is this piece, this small piece of the total picture. They have these two big shells that encompass the majority of the picture. They have a huge background that encompasses the majority of the picture, and their divine masculine is this small piece of the whole picture. And so they're working more on understanding, what is this shell? What do I need to know about this shell? What does this shell mean to me? Okay, what is this shell? What do I need to know about this shell? What does this shell mean to me? What does the background mean to me? What are all of these things together supposed to encompass? What is it that I'm supposed to understand about my situation and about my path and about my purpose and what I've done so far, the work that I've done so far, and the work that I still have to do. And that is where Spirit is trying to get all of the divine feminines at this present moment, so that when we get to this mountain, whenever the mountain appears, or it's a new mountain that appears, we don't revert back to having to learn patience again. We don't revert back to learning to follow the leader again, because suddenly the divine masculine is here. So all the work that I did, it has succeeded, and now we're done. No, the work still continues. The work was not to get you into union. The work was to get you into your purpose. The purpose is the ultimate goal of this mission, okay? The purpose is why there are two of you. The purpose is the whole point of having a twin flame. The purpose is the whole point of your soul splitting into two. It's to fulfill your divine purpose, all right? So let's look into the future for the divine feminine. So truth is in reverse here, but I don't feel like it should be, because I didn't align my cards before I did this. So truth is what's coming. Why? I feel like both of these are important before I talk about why that was supposed to be upright. Nope, shuffle again. Got you. The future is learning the truth about why you had to come apart. Learning the truth about why you had to separate. Learning the truth about why you had to be in breakdown. And there was a breakdown in communication. The reverse of this is where you are now. Not understanding the truth. Not feeling like there's any justice. Not feeling like your divine masculine is going to do right. Not feeling like your divine masculine is going to come in. But what's happening is, when you're moving into the future, by doing this and doing this, you're coming to this point where you can understand why the separation had to happen. Understand why things disheveled and came apart. Because the ultimate goal for the divine feminines on this leg of the journey is what, Spirit? Other than reaching your divine purpose and working your divine purpose, what is the ultimate goal for the divine feminine? This one? To make your way back home. And to be secure at home. To feel at home with each other. That is your ultimate goal. A lot of divine feminines have never had a place where they've truly felt home. And that is why the divine masculine has been so important. But at the same point in time, you need to be able to work from home. That is the main mission, to be able to work from home. And sometimes, and a lot of times, divine feminines can't work from home. They can't work from home because they're so wrapped up in being home. That's why the divine masculine has to leave. That feeling of home has to leave so that you can understand how important that your work is. And so you can go through this transformation and breakthrough where you can feel home and still be able to work from home, because you're content that home is never going to leave you. Home is always with you. That is the purpose of this journey for you, divine feminines. That is where we're moving into come the 2021. Okay? Now I can go further into a whole 2021 reading. That's probably going to be my next reading. But this part that we've gone over right now is going to be greatly important when I do that 2021 reading. So remember this, or come back to this when that reading drops. But yes, the whole point of this is to come home so you can work from home and to transform you for the next level. So this whole ending of This whole 11, being that this is the 11th month and this is 11, I need you to understand that some truths are about to come out. Okay? Moving into December 12/12 portal, that 12/12 energy, some truths are going to come out. They're going to be hard truths. You're not going to necessarily like them, Divine Feminines, but they're going to be put in your face in such a way that you're forced to work on yourself. You're forced to work with your DM, and you're forced to see your DM in a new light. Because you don't have all of the facts. You don't have all of the truth, even though you feel like you do. You don't have it yet, but it's coming. You're going to understand why this separation was necessary and why you couldn't do the things that you were supposed to do if separation didn't come into play here. Now let's move into the Divine Masculine half here. And just remember, all of this information becomes important when I do the 2020 in reflection reading and the 2021 what's coming up reading. Gosh, I've missed y'all. I've had a lot going on. Sorry I haven't been here, but trust me, I definitely miss doing this. Flip this one this way. So they're going in all types of directions over there. All right, Spirit. Help us to understand past, present, and future when it comes to the Divine Masculine. Past, present, future. Call upon your messages, Spirit. So what is it we're supposed to understand about the past of the Divine Masculine? What is it that the Divine Masculine was supposed to learn? What is it that the Divine Masculine was supposed to get out of the past? Disappointment. Let me get this other card, because those are supposed to be talked about together and not as separate entities. So I get it. Okay. So the Divine Masculine, he's supposed to learn, he was supposed to get this disappointment and have this feeling of disappointment in the past to understand that his compass was off. His compass was upside down. He wasn't looking at the directions in the correct way, and he didn't have all the answers. For the long time, the Divine Masculine knew that he knew where he was going, knew that he had it together, and quite oftentimes may have felt like it was the Divine Feminine that needed guidance, the Divine Feminine that didn't understand the direction that things needed to go in, the Divine Feminine that needed to get on his wavelength. But he was sadly mistaken and disappointed. Not to say that the Divine Feminine had it together, but just understanding that the Divine Masculine didn't have it together either. He really didn't understand that his way wasn't always the best way. So he had to do it his way. He had to go at his pace and in his direction to understand he was going the wrong way. To understand that his way isn't always best, that his knowledge isn't always best, and that he needs to follow a compass that's rooted north, aka rooted towards Spirit and God, instead of rooted in whatever misguided direction he thought was true north. Okay? So all of these disappointments that the Divine Masculine has experienced in the past have been a product of his misdirection, has been a product of his misguidance. And it's not just that it was his way he thought was better. Someone gave him this compass. And when someone gave him that compass, they gave it to him upside down. They gave it to him that way. And that's part of what the Divine Feminine needs to understand here, and why this is Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine past, future, and present reading is because divine feminine doesn't often understand that the divine masculine was given the cards this way. It was his job to turn it right side up, but he was given the cards this way. And so he was expected by the people around him to know that, hey, I gave you the card this way, but you're supposed to turn it this way. You're supposed to, figure out that you're supposed to be going due north. He didn't know what to do with this. He didn't know what to do with this. He knew that he was supposed to follow it. He didn't know he was supposed to flip it around before he followed it. So that led him to a string of disappointments. Because he felt that he had the tools, which he had the tools, he didn't have the skills and the knowledge to use it correctly. So he had to go through these series of disappointments. So what is it that the divine masculine is learning in the present moment? Let's see. He had to learn that these tower moments and these crises were not necessarily crises for him. It was maybe crises for the people around him, but he's learning now that the whole time he could fly. Because he has these new skills and he has these new tools. He has what he needs to do it the correct way. So he understands that when everybody else is in crisis, and everything is burning down and crashing around him, he can fly out of this scenario. He can make his way out. He has the tools that he needs to make his way out, and the crisis isn't always meant for him. Sometimes it's just meant for the people around him, but that doesn't mean he has to take it on. He's learning this now. It took a second, but he's learning this now. So what is it that he's supposed to learn for the future? I'm gonna tell y'all why I laughed in a second. Hold on. This is funny because I shuffled these cards, number one. Number two, where's my traditional tarot deck? Do I have one over here? I do have one over here. Let me see for a second before I say what I'm about to say, if I can find the card that I'm looking for in my Nightmare Before Christmas deck, so I can show you why I'm laughing. Some of you already know exactly why this is absolutely hilarious to me. But I think in the Nightmare Before Christmas deck, it doesn't necessarily show you. Yeah, not in this one. I have to find my traditional one. Where is my traditional deck? Jabberwocky, baby. Don't stop. It might actually be in this deck that I'm currently using. I just know for a fact it's in my other deck. Let's see. Y'all bear with me. I want y'all to see this. I want y'all to see this. Oh. This this one doesn't show it either. I need my little deck, which I have so many decks around me, except for the one that I want, which is crazy. Okay, I'll explain. In the traditional Rider-Waite deck, which I will insert the picture here, when we look at the Lover's card, the masculine is looking at the feminine. Masculine looks at the feminine, and the feminine looks to God. Okay, so the whole experience that you're going through, what you're learning, which is what the future of what the divine masculine is learning. That's his future, okay? Or her future if your divine masculine's feminine. The future for the divine masculine is to learn to follow the leader. Here we have the Queen of Roses as the leader. The Queen of Roses as the leader is part of the divine feminine here, okay? He is learning that divine feminine is a source of leadership. He is learning that he should take the divine feminine at her word when she is trying to tell him things, because the divine feminine is not acting out of selfish greed or need or possession. The divine feminine is acting with the mindset that we need to win. And in order for us to win, we need to do certain things a certain way. In order for us to win, there's a better way for us to do this. He understands that what the divine feminine was trying to tell him is, A, your compass is upside down. If you turn it the other direction, you'll be able to do this. A, this crisis isn't a crisis for you because we know how to fly. We know what we need to do to get out of this. It's not a crisis for you. So stop treating everything like it's a crisis. The divine feminine was trying to say all of these things, but the divine masculine was not able to hear it because the divine masculine did not put the divine feminine at a position of leadership. Because quite often we have been taught, and this is for traditional masculines and feminines, we've been taught that the masculine energy is supposed to be the head. The masculine energy is supposed to be the lead. Not understanding that the masculine energy is not supposed to be the lead. The masculine energy is supposed to follow the feminine energy because the feminine energy is a source of balance and magic and mystic. The feminine energy has intuition. The feminine energy is more able to receive downloads and see on the 5D level what's going on. The masculine only sees mostly in the 3D level because the masculine has vision. The masculine is a visionary. The masculine can take what the feminine says and put it into a visionary space. I've learned this a lot with my divine masculine because if I tell my divine masculine what it is that I want or what it is that I see in an intuition space, he can manifest it into the 3D, into a vision that's not even necessarily on the level of what it was that I saw in my head, because he's a 3D visionary. I am a 5D intuitionist. So, in order for these to merge, the divine masculine's future is understanding that the divine feminine is in a place of leadership and he's learning to follow the leader. That is why most of this year and going into 2021, the divine masculine is watching the divine feminine, seeing what the divine feminine is doing, see what the divine feminine's got going on, see what the divine feminine is learning, because that's telling the divine masculine a lot about what it is that he needs to be doing. If you have noticed, divine feminine, a lot of you have started your own businesses, and now your divine masculines are starting their own business. You have been following your passions, and now the divine masculine is following their passions. You have been going on the spiritual journey, and now the divine masculines are going on the spiritual journey. And you're like, well, what's the point of just doing what I'm doing? What he's doing is he's seeing that this is working for you. He understands that you are his divine counterpart. He may not understand it in those terms, but he understands there's something different and special about you, to which he's supposed to look to you as an authority. He's not necessarily telling you that, okay? So what was the mission this year of 2020? It was destruction and tower moments and unexpected changes for the divine masculine, so it can set him up for new opportunities to rise above. Rise above his obstacles, rise above the pettiness and the drama, and to find the strength within himself to be a better person. And right under that is transformation. Ready for the next level. That's the point. Oh, it came full circle. I love it. Okay, so there's still time to enter for my November giveaway. You purchase anything from my site, including tarot readings. I have some $10 tarot readings, $5 tarot readings, $20 tarot readings. Just go to my website. It's in the description box below. Enter the giveaway for a free gift box, personalized gift box at that. If you need a personal reading, a more personal reading, a more in-depth reading like this, you can do the 2021 reading, or you can do a full-on twin flame reading, extended version. And I can go through all of this for your specific path and your specific DM or DF in you. Love, light, and blessings to you. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. Like so you can get the people here that need to be here, because there's some people that don't look at a video unless it has a lot of likes, and then they don't want to look at it. So go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, share, mash the share button, share this with somebody else so they can see this and understand that this is what's been going on and this is where we're moving into. Love, light, and blessings to you, and I'll see you in a future video.